Thank you for tuning in to this frequency. Welcome to the Rider-Waite podcast episode. I am author K.N. Robertson of Exposing Lesser Demons. I also read tarot as well as host a podcast called the Rider-Waite Podcast. For now, I am here to offer this collective the reading of the quarter. This is definitely going to be a timeless reading, so hopefully this found you when you were ready for it. One of the messages I got while I was digging out all of my items, I saw a dime heads up in my container of charms, etc. And that's the only time it's felt relevant because it was where it was because I took it out. Like, I need to separate this from everything. And then this time it felt relevant. I was like, why a dime? Oh, what if it's like, because you're a dime. So somebody is thinking you are a 10 out of 10. And oh my goodness, I think I'm about to tell on myself because I have just been having this wonderful collaboration. And I'm not going to say what I'm not going to say because I'm going to maintain the energy. But I think that I continue to surprise this individual, and that would be wonderful if that's what I'm doing, because this person is somebody that I find quite inspiring, and I'm taking notes and literally doing a full expose on this person, because in the interview that we've conducted, they literally said whatever, like, I don't remember the whole quote, but it ended in it was the first part, I'm paraphrasing. The next part, I know it's direct quote, but it was, whatever you desire to do it with your full potential. Whatever it is you're going to do it with your full potential. So that's what I'm doing. Actually, I don't know if that was a direct quote, but you can go see for yourself. It's a part of the same playlist, so it will be linked in the description. It'll probably pop up on the screen if I'm doing things to my full potential. There are other things that if I were to let myself worry, I would be doing different things. But I'm deciding I'm just gonna wait until things feel right, and this feels right. This feels big. I'm gonna take a quick moment. I'm gonna pull the cards, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on with the reading because I'm mid-shuffle of the first deck. The main deck felt so powerful when I opened this box. Oh my God, I have so much to say. It felt so powerful when I opened this box, and I knew it was the deck to bring down because the cards are so thick, they're tough to shuffle. So I was like, this is going to take a while, but the deck was certain that it wanted to come with me. And I'm so glad it was this deck because, first of all, it's the Rider-Waite Tarot, or the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot. Also, this particular brand, they call it the Radiant Wise Spirit because it's RWS, Rider-Waite Smith, and totally different spelling than my podcast, but it is the inspiration for that because it is a merging of my spiritual tarot side, tarot reading side, channeled messaging side, which is really, they're all the same sides, let's be real. So but then there's a side where I'm writing, and I'm merging those into this podcast, and also bringing in the collaborations of, being able to interview people who inspire me. I get to talk to them. I get to obsess about them. I get to watch all of their videos. I already know like the next 5 people I want to do this, but the universe really sent me the first. So I mean, when I say sent, I mean, I was like, I give up. This person would be great to ask, but I'm not going to. If you want them on my podcast, you'll have to send. I didn't even mean this person specifically. I was like, if you want somebody on this with me, you'll have to send them to me. And this person happened to see a tarot channeled message minute that I shared, not from the Rider-Waite channel, not from the Rider-Waite channel, which is me, which is where you likely found this, but from the Dragonfly Spirit TV channel, which I hope I remember to add as a collaborator to this video. While shuffling this particular deck, the Radiant Wise Spirit with the thicker cards that inspired this merging in name alone, the first card that pops up corresponds to the message that we were just discussing about how the interview in this February 2026 podcast playlist mention, it features somebody who was really inspiring to me. His name is Jon Snow. Yes, his real name is Jon Snow, and he is an amazing cosplayer. He is an incredible collaborator, and I got the honor of collaborating with him on the first episode of this podcast. It was as if the angels just sent him right to me, and I mean, I couldn't be happier with what this is turning into, being so inspired, and hearing him say in the middle of the interview to do things to your full potential. It literally, at every step, like, set a new bar for what this podcast is. Like, it was already spectacular, and then the universe gave me time via a snowstorm and lack of hours at work, like, to do this. Everything is aligning for me to do this, if not to my full potential, extremely close, and I'm going to do everything that I can to do that. But it's easy, it's fun, it's enjoyable. And then I'm shuffling this deck that insisted on coming even when I didn't really want it to, that reminded me to let you know the namesake of this podcast. The card that comes out literally says in the book, I'm holding it, it says, "It is having pride in what you do and being fully invested in the effort you are taking to create something. It is often the process, not the results, offering profound satisfaction. However, in the case of Eight of Pentacles, both the journey and results are aligned in harmony and full success. Right effort, diligence, display." I feel like you're at a position where you probably are already saying, or you're about to say any minute, I'm just going to do what I said I was wanting to do in the first place. You're finally just like laying down the things that society would ask you to do, or your loved ones would tell you should do. And you're just like, I'm going to do the thing that I should have done a long time ago. And you'll know that it's right. If you don't already know, if you're not already here, I'm sure many of you are, because I'm feeling like I should speak as if you're there. So that's what I'm going to do. You know that it's the right option because it feels so good at every step. I'm being called right now to remind that this month's card, the card for this quarter is the Fool card, which is about taking leaps of faith. It's the number 0 because you're not even moving, but you can take a step in any direction, and that is 1. So what direction do you want to step in? Because every step that you make, every little detail is shaping something so beautiful. And that's all this is. Like, I was at 0. If there is a singular homeless person in the tarot deck, it is the Fool. He dresses as a colorful, happy vagabond. As a matter of fact, let me look at the deck. As a matter of fact, the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, Radiant Wise Spirit, I just pulled the book back up. It has the Fool card right as the image. This happy vagabond with its happy, hungry dog. You can see the spine, but the dog is like, actually it's not happy. It's like, hey, you're about to fall off a cliff. And the Fool is just head up to the sky, walking right over the edge. But the thing about the Fool card is the dog hasn't noticed, because the dog is looking up saying, hey, you're about to fall, you're about to fall. The Fool is literally walking, and the ground is rising up and growing right where their feet are hovering over at every step. The dog just doesn't see it yet because it's just beginning. They think you're going to fall, but you are going to soar. You are going to glide. You are going to strut is the word. If you're in your vagabond era, just know that the happier you are, the quicker you're going to be on to that next step. I promise you. And sometimes you got to go on faith, baby. But I'm telling you right now, I've never, ever been so sure as when I bet on myself. And I have a feeling you feel that same way about yourself. Should I even take another card, Spirit? Not from this deck. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. I didn't even get to finish shuffling, but we got the right card. That's all that matters. Should I look at the back of the deck? Because I put that together randomly. Wow. I felt the yes, but I turned it over at the same time. Wow. This is about the Nine of Wands. If you know, you know. You definitely, sorry. Wow. You're in your vagabond era, but I'm seeing that's a come up. Because you just had your A word handed to you. I'm going to try not to cuss too much because on the Rider Waite podcast, we're looking for sponsors. So if you're looking to sponsor something, even if you're not like a big Fortune 500 company, shoot, you know how to find me on the internet. I might support what you're doing. Back to these cards here. So we got the Nine of Wands. Okay, so the number 9 going into the number 8 is what you're going into, which means you took a step back. But this is your setup. It's not a setback, it's a setup. Because you just got your butt handed to you in this last season. Maybe in this last quarter. I know for me personally, it was the last quarter. But I'm a part of this collective, so this is our reading, bro. But the next step, this next quarter that we're in right now, whenever this finds you, and if you find it at the time of this recording, that's February, March, and April. This next quarter, you're diligently putting in the work in. You're the happy vagabond. You don't care. You don't even worry where the food is coming from because you see it unfolding before you. You're like, I don't care about my next meal. I'm trying to say it so you can feel me because the universe is giving me the messages. I'm trying to say it. I stumbled on my words because the universe wanted me to say, no, I'm not worried about my next meal because I'm worried about my next meal. Okay. So forget the plate for today. I can fast today, but I'm getting that bag. I'm getting fast to that bag also. That bag is fast coming to me because the Eight of Pentacles is seated, working diligently at a table, sitting in the same spot he was sitting in yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before, head down, doing the same thing you saw doing the other day. But the thing that you don't know is that's the thing that is getting the results. So if you see me sitting on my phone, I'm probably editing some shorts. If you see me sitting at my computer, I'm probably editing some short stories. Okay? I don't even mean to have bars like this, but I am a rapper. We'll talk about that in the future. I might put some singing audio somewhere in this playlist. So definitely if you're vibing with me and you want to see more of what's going on at the Rider Waite podcast in the Rider Waite playlist, definitely keep watching because I'm going to leak me singing somewhere in here. And since I said it, so mote it be, right? And I just grabbed without thinking. Fortune cookie fortunes. Oh, 2 just fell out. 3. So that's what we're going to take. Thank you, Spirit. Maybe the number 3 is significant. 3 times 3 is 9. So I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. And don't forget this diamond's here. So I'm counting on that to be significant. You will inherit money from a surprising source, bro. That's the first one I picked up. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference, okay? So make sure while your head's down, you feel like you're in your vagabond era, but you know who you are. You know what your purpose is. You're not over here trying to make, the money that, like, whatever people are saying, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. You know there's a bigger bag out there for you. You know there's a bigger bag out there for you. And you need to make sure you stay aligned in that energy and that attitude because that money is coming. You don't even need to worry about how much money it is. You just need to keep doing the same thing that you've been doing that you said that you should have been started a long time ago and been continued a long time ago. That's the thing. And you know it's true because you want to do it. It's the thing that you want to do. You was like, if I wasn't so worried about how to pay these bills, I would be doing this thing. Guess what? Universe saying do it. You have the makings of a leader. Take charge. Exactly. I'm so glad you sent me that fortune cookie, universe, because I needed to make sure this was said about the Fool card in the Fool card quarter. It is easy to follow a path. It takes bravery to blaze a trail. Do you want to follow a path? Do you want to be a follower or you want to be a trailblazer? You weren't meant to be a follower. You're a trailblazer. That's why you're here. As a matter of fact, when you were getting your butt handed to you, you know what this, then, excuse my language. When you were getting your backside handed to you, you know why? I'm looking at this 9 of Wands right now, okay? And this person is holding a staff, a wooden staff. And then there are 8 others that they have, in my imagination right now, never before this moment, those staffs that literally have leaves sticking out of them and they're made from wood, those are from the brambles that you had to clear to blaze the trail. And the way that you do that, the way that you continue blazing this trail, is in that Eight of Pentacles energy of keeping your head down and doing the tasks in front of you. You know they feel good. You may as well do them. The only reason you haven't been doing them is because you're trying to get up out of this vagabond era in survival mode. But it's time for you to activate thrival mode. Okay? And some of you have done that. I can feel that. You're only here for a little bit of encouragement. Well, it is my honor and a pleasure. It is my honor with a U and a pleasure with a pleasure P. I'm just joking. To bring you that message. And you know what's even crazier? Spirit, what are you doing? I don't know if y'all just heard. I just opened a playing card deck. Now I got to explain this to y'all. But you know what? It's the first episode. May as well. And this is the perfect episode to do it because it's the full... Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Which is all about beginning new journeys. And so I had to sit the whole deck down, girl. We haven't even shuffled. But SNL deck, Saturday Night Live, it's just a playing card deck. And I specifically pulled that deck because I'm here at the Rider Waite podcast. Even though we're doing a spiritual message, we do want to keep it light. We want to keep it fun, okay? So I grabbed a playing card deck. There are 78 cards in a tarot deck. There are 53 in the playing card deck. That means some are missing, right? For those of you who don't know tarot, but for those of who do know tarot, you know there are 2 major arcana out of 20. Don't get me to lying. 21. Ooh, but 22 is significant. Why? Because I'm gonna get to you. Hold on. The Fool card is 0. There are 21 major arcana. But the journey doesn't end, it begins again at 0. So some often consider the Fool card 22. Okay? So that is why 22 is significant. Okay? But there are some cards missing that the entire major arcana is missing from the playing card deck. That's why we go from 78 to 53 cards. Okay? But there is one major arcana that exists within the playing card deck. Just one. And it's in there twice. Do you hear me? 0 and 22. It's in here twice. And that is the Fool card. And it is represented by the Joker. Because the Joker is what? A fool and a vagabond. Baby, they even wear some of the same clothes. If you've ever seen the Rider Waite Smith Tarot, it's not quite a court jester's outfit, okay? But there are some other tarot decks when it's very indicative of a court jester, okay? Which is the Joker. So we're shuffling, but we just saw the Fool card. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. It's another 8. Wow. It is 8 of Wands. So now we're looking at the 8 of Wands, and playing cards are pip deck. So now I have to remember what 8 of Wands is real quick, but I'm pretty certain we've got the 8 of Wands and the 9 of Wands, but it's going 9 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. And what's funny is a way that the playing card deck, which is a pip deck, the way it will try to give you other major arcana like the Fool card is to give you multiples of the same number. Oh my goodness, and I just accidentally looked at the back of the deck. Oh my gosh. And it's the 9 of Cups. So we've got the same numbers but different suits, okay? So I know the 9 of Cups is what this is about because it's the bottom of the deck, back of the deck energy. So this is what this is about. 9 of Cups is a person who has come to inner peace, which is exactly where the Fool, that's where we find the Fool. And I'm feeling it just saying it. It's just like a satisfaction within yourself. You might be in your cottage in the woods era in a second, and I just followed a creator. I don't know your name, or I'd shout you out right now, but it is a gentleman who had a video. It said, I don't know what the short that I found said, but the long video said that he was homeless in the woods. He had just built like a makeshift log cabin out of the sticks in the woods, just like the trailblazer I was talking about in the other card. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Spirit, you're really cooking, and I'm just really trying to keep up with you. But I feel like you're telling me I'm doing good. But Cups is a spiritual element anyway, so that's the most spiritual suit in the deck. So there is a lot of spiritual ease, comfort, alignment, and it's like it's an exercise, but it's less of an exercise as it's ever been. It's like you've been doing this exercise every day, and it brings you comfort to do and normalcy to do every day. 9 of Cups, you're just feeling, you're feeling very good. And it's a spiritual exercise that you've been committing to every day. And I'm speaking in the present tense, but take it as it resonates. And I'm an empowerment tarot reader, so I'm going to give you some homework. There's going to be some exercise. There's going to be a takeaway that makes you feel like, I can do this. This is easy. Is this what I need to do? That's what I'm going to do. 8 of Wands, though. So if this is about your comfort, your spiritual energy, 8 of Wands. Universe, you're so funny how you just reminded me right at the perfect time. And now I feel like this dime is significant again. 8 of Wands is messages coming in. I feel like whatever alignment that you're in is making you very magnetic and attractive, and there are going to be messages coming in, not necessarily romantic, okay, because you're also working on this other thing, this other project. People are going to want to get in on this. If you're in the energy that I'm in, people are going to want to get in on this. I'm like, let me let it be known now. I already know who I want for the next like 6 or 7 editions of the Rider Waite podcast. And let me spell Rider Waite podcast one more time. You're here. WRITER WAIT. Because Rider Waite. I had a really rough last quarter, but I listen to Esther Hicks every day. That's my spiritual practice, my ablution, and listening to Esther Abraham Hicks every single day. So you turn into what you tune into. Okay, you're an amalgamation of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'm asking you in this empowerment tarot reading to spend time with people who inspire you. And that is why I interviewed Lord Jon Snow. That is why the universe divined me with the opportunity to obsess about the inspiration that he brings to me, so that I can highlight that, to show you all, to keep you inspired, to let you know that, we're just 2 people who decided to tap into what's awesome and unique about us. And it's going to create something really beautiful. And if nothing, it's going to create a ripple effect. You have been affected just by being here. So if you're going to be affected by the things, if you're going to be influenced by the influencers that you're following, then make sure you're following or friending individuals who you want to receive influence from. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. You've been knowing what I'm saying. Like, I'm just reaffirming things you already knew, okay? Because even if you don't listen to Esther Abraham Hicks, water seeks its own level. All you have to do is chill out. But because I listen to Esther Hicks every day, when I was in my harshest quarter of my life, most likely, I mean, this last couple years, really, but there has been a lot of beauty in between as well. But this last quarter was particularly rough, and because I've been so on to Esther Hicks, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do what we're supposed to do, which is get into alignment as quickly as possible and as long as possible, knowing that I'm not going to be able to stay there forever necessarily. But that's because by seeing what I don't want, I'm getting more specific about what I do want. And the only thing I have to do to receive those things is chill out and be happy and do the things that nobody can stop me from doing because I'm so excited about them. Because I listen to Esther Hicks every day, I was like, I'm going to find a way to chill out. And sometimes that means just looking for a better feeling. That's all we're ever trying to do. I'm not saying go from tragic devastation to exuberant joy. Sorry. Did I mention I'm a writer? I'm just saying. Sorry, I keep blowing this. blowing the same fortune cookie fortune. So I'm going to read this one again, but in a second, because it's definitely significant. But I'm just saying, go for the better feeling thought is what Abraham would say. You will inherit money from a surprising source. You already forgot I said that, so I just needed to say it again. But yeah, Eight of Wands. Whatever you're doing with this Eight of Pentacles, and they're sitting right next to each other. You're taking a fool's journey, but you're doing it with a lot more confidence than you probably ever have after one of the harshest seasons that you've ever experienced. And everybody's going to want in on this. They're watching you struggle. They don't know if you're going to flop or fly. They expect you to kind of just be mid-tier. But you're about to show them that you're double S tier. There will be more to this tarot reading as well, because I'll be hearing this message back while I'm editing, and then I'm going to be watching it back to make sure it's ready exactly how I like, and then I'm going to meditate on it, and I'm then going to create a text post about this reading, including and specifically additional messages, so we'll have a more focused and organized annotations on what we discussed this evening, but we will also have any new channel messages that come through, and then I'm going to edit that for clarity. So you're really going to enjoy that. You're really going to enjoy more that I can say about the Fool card, because I already forgot that I wanted to say, so maybe this is significant. With it being such a person who is a trailblazer, oh my God, one of these said this too. Okay, but you really are a leader, and I'm picking up the right fortune. I was like, I know I'm gonna need to read these again, but it says you have the makings of a leader. Take charge. I feel like the Fool is the only true leader, because it's the only one that has no one else to prove nothing. Excuse me, no one else to prove things to, nothing left to lose. But in this particular case, when I got to the point where I was like, universe, if you want me to have a guest on this, you'll bring them to me. And I just forgot it. And I was like, I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to do all the things that I need to do, because there's too many things, that I have too many things to do. I need to go be working on this and that and this if I want to do this project. But there are things that I love. So I was also popping by, I was getting excited, hyping myself up, because I didn't think I would have the time, but I didn't get any hours. And then I was like, should I freak out because I'm not going to have the money? I might have the money, but guess what? Just like the universe sent me the perfect person to interview for this podcast, for this bar to be set so high for me to do so much better than I would have done. I know that when I said the same thing, universe, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to let you figure out the money. The money's coming. The money here. As a matter of fact, I literally was worried about money at one of these points in the last quarter, and I got an envelope in the mail from the government. I didn't want to open it. I put it on my bookshelf. I was like, I'm gonna open it, but just not right now. Let me go to bed right now. I just got off and commuted home. Let's not talk about that. But it was really late, and I don't mind, because my job is so easy. Like, I love what I do because it's so easy, and I have my brain. But anyway, it's like a manual labor job. But anyway, so I come home and I'm just like, I'm going to go to sleep, but I can't think about what the government needs from me right now. 4 days later, when I finally decided to just chill out, and then I was like, I'm going to let this be the day where I think about the things that I want to do, or like this be the next few days where I think about that, because I'm chilled out again. I'm going to let inspirations come to me, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. I opened that envelope that was next to my bed, and it was a check for $200. And does that sound like a lot to somebody? Probably not. But for me, excuse me, especially at that time, shoot, I could say that again right now, but I'm not going to. $200 was huge. I'm sorry. And I know that one day I'm going to look back and I'm like, I was the $200, you know what I mean? But that's what I needed in that moment, you know what I mean? And getting that thing in the mail today that said Amazon, I have Kindle books over there, so I was like, why is Amazon sending me something that looks official? I got nervous, but then I said, no, I've been doing what I'm supposed to do. I've been staying in alignment. I've been chilling. I'm going to trust that this is a good thing. I flipped that thing over. It says Amazon might owe you $51. Hey, baby, they owe me more than $51, but we're not going to talk about it because they got some ISBMs with my name on it that they're claiming are theirs. But what did I just say? We're not going to talk about it. We already talked about that in the interview with Jon Snow, and I'm not even going to tell you why it was relevant to the interview. You just got to check it out. If you're interested in publishing, that would be a good interview for you. If you're interested in anime, if you're interested in cosplay, if you're interested in fine, handsome chocolate brothers with intelligence and something to say, go listen to it. And if you like astrology, I discovered over looking for the perfect clips to edit into that video that he is a Virgo. So, and I didn't even say it over there, so that was exclusive to this side. Okay, I might not even say it in the written form. But anyway, you're going to want to taste all the morsels that is the February 2026 Rider Waite podcast edition. We're taking our next steps forward, and since the Rider Waite Fool is stepping off of a cliff, that is a leap, and it is a leap of faith, and you will soar. I'm trying to tell you, you will soar. And I wanted to say you will soar on like the wings of a dove or something, but I don't know exactly what the quote is. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. If you could put it in the comments, because I think it will be significant, because the Rider Waite Fool, I think, maybe not. Let me look at the actual, I don't have the card out itself, but it's all over the box, it's all over the book. But I think theirs has a dove, but many versions of the Fool card have a dove on it. The version that I created for the Rider Waite podcast does not. He does not have any animal companions, but there is a thistle which is growing through the snow. It is a what's the word I want to say? It's a very specific word. Hold on. Durable. It's a very sturdy, resilient. Thank you, Spirit. It's a very resilient flower. All three of those words, yes, but resilient is the one, and I'm looking at the Nine of Wands again. So even though you feel like you got your hind parts handed to you in this last quarter, you won. You came out the victor. I'm hearing my former coworker at the job that I'm now back at. He used to say when he would get in fights, I'm not gonna say where he was, but you know, if you know, you know. He would say, even if you win, you're gonna feel like you lost. So that's what happened to you in this last quarter. You won, even though you might feel like you lost. And what's crazy is you're still in the midst of the rewards are still approaching you. I don't want to say you're waiting for it, because you're not waiting for it so much as creating it. You're diligently creating something that you know is going to pay off. I'm drawn to all the 8s over here. It feels like cycles, it feels like circles, but you're actually enjoying the work this time because you're not doing it in survival mode, because you've survived. So I think that's how you know this is for you. Like, you felt like you lost, but I think you know you won because you survived. It was a close call. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. If that really resonated for you, the first reading that I did over on the Dragonfly Spirit TV channel, you might like that. But you don't have to listen to it because you're going forward. You're already out of that. And I'm not saying that you see the results of material success yet, but you see it in your mind's eye closer than ever. And I'm speaking in present tense because I feel like that's true for most of you right this minute, but many of you know it to be coming. You just needed some confirmation. And I'm going to ask you to please let this be your confirmation. I'm going to ask you to, because I know I would hear stuff and I would be like, I want to believe it, but it's for you. It's your birthright. You chose to incarnate on this planet, and there was a wait list, okay? You chose to, and Source said, yeah, you go again. And you came back, and you said, I'm going to do it better than I did it the last time, and you're doing it better. You really are. you're doing it better. And it doesn't even matter what happened in your past life. You want to know why? Because you're here. You're in the present. You're safe. You're safe. Don't worry about the rest of it. Universe is taking care of that. Because you decided to come back with being tapped into infinite knowledge. You said, yeah, I'm going to do it again. I'm going back. So that means you knew something before you got here. You said, I can handle that and then some. And I can make it better. Now we consciously forget because we came here to expand. We didn't come here to keep the planet exactly the same. If so, why would we all look different? Why would we all have different thoughts? Why can't a group of 4 not agree on everything all the time? We're not here to be the same because this is not meant to be the same. This is meant to expand, and we are the expanders. And when we were tapped into infinite knowledge and we knew that, we overstood it, we said we're coming back, which means we came back with purpose. Okay, not to find our purpose, to do our purpose. And I'm hearing Jon Snow say again, do it with your full potential. And I'm hoping that I got that quote directly. So go watch that. And I guess on that note, some outros. This has been the first reading in a series that will include readings going forward every quarter, ideally, for the Rider Waite podcast. I have been your host, author K.N. Robertson of Exposing Lesser Demons. I have written 3 short stories for the quarter. I'm sure there are some messages about those, especially Fetal Fires, which I don't want to get into too much of the inspiration here. You can read it and then see what the inspiration for it was. But that one particularly was being spread too thin at work and not really getting the value or the care and understanding that was deserved for your value that you were offering, that you were bringing to the table. And now I'm being drawn again to the 8 of Pentacles because you got up from that table, especially if you did what I did. You may have gotten up from their table and sat down at your little stool and squat table and gotten to work on your own things the way that you used to work for those people who didn't appreciate you. So I'm telling you that message. That was my experience, but it also felt like a channeled message right now. So whatever you choose to do in that regard, even if others don't agree with you, like they normally don't agree with the Fool, even if they think you're a fool. Oh, I'm being drawn to this one again. I knew I was going to have to read it. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. So you keep your head in the game. When it comes to time to work on your task, you keep your head down and working on your task. And when it's time to take a time off from that, you keep your head up to the sky and have blind faith in the universe and the plan that y'all laid out together before you incarnated in this lifetime. Get happy, do that thing you want to do, and watch yourself thrive. So again, this podcast is for readers and writers of books and tarot and anybody who relates to just anything that I've done or said in this reading. It's given very blurred tea over here. If you're looking to be inspired, that's it. That's why I used, oh my goodness, I don't know if you noticed the Rider Waite logo, but it's a pen. And I did that because the pen is mightier than the sword. So it's basically an Ace of Swords, because the sword in tarot can represent writers and also inspiration. And the Ace of Swords can represent divine inspiration and divine messages. So from my lips to God's ears, you shall be inspired if you continue with Rider Waite. I know it. I just know it. And I thank you all for tuning into this frequency and taking a chance on this podcast. There's so many more things that I feel like I want to say, but I'm going to let it go for now because we will meet again.